Hey, what's up guys, my name is Lucky Ducky and welcome back to another video. This is our fourth video in the series and today we'll be doing the dungeon of King's Castle. Now King's Castle is the fourth dungeon of Dungeon Quest. Basically, we'll be taking a look at that dungeon today. If you haven't seen the previous three videos of the Temple, Winter Outpost, and Pirate Island, I recommend you check them out. Now without further ado, let us get started. To do the insane difficulty, or in general lock dungeon, you'll need level 70. And to do the nightmare difficulty, harder difficulty, you'll need level 79. And to unlock the next one, which is the Underworld, you'll need a level of 80. Now, what class will be the one that you need, we'll find out later in the video. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at the dungeon. Let's go ahead and press play, and create dungeon, and press King Castle. We'll load up an insane, and create a lobby. Let's go ahead and start it up. Now while we load it up, we can take a look at the spells at King's Castle. Now, here are the best spells in King's Castle, but before we take a look at that, we need to look at this dungeon's heal, which is called the Chain Heal. Unfortunately, I'm having slow loading, but the Chain Heal can heal up 12 players at once if they connect after a certain range, for example shown in this image. Chain Heal can be gotten in Insane and both Nightmare difficulty and can be sold for 150,000 gold. Now for the Nightmare spells, the better spells. For the first time, the better dungeon for this, if you ask me, is Warrior. Because if we look at the better mage spell, Electric Boom, it basically does a circle around here and does constant damage around some ticks. This may take multiple times. For example, it will do a 25 but 4 times 25 per tick. Here it does a 12.4 per tick, but the 5 times 2 does a lot faster and should be a lot easier to deal with mobs. Also, the second and all the dungeons in the future will have a legendary separated for mage and warrior. Now, if you might notice in this little group of mobs that there is a new enemy. Now, besides the typical mage or that, there's the hitman. The hitman is basically someone that runs faster than you. He will rush at you and do a little square attack. It should be easily dodgeable with shift lock. If you have shift lock and already got used to it, this is extremely useful, especially if one starts to have a little difficult boss. Now let's go ahead and hurry up and do these. If you're lagging in these dungeons, make sure to lower your Roblox graphics settings, or you can go to your settings here and turn these off. For example, you can show off other people's damage abilities you're playing with others, the scene of damage, or the music, which I'm going to keep on right now. Now let's go ahead and defeat these two more groups of mobs before we reach the first boss. Now once we defeat with these, you should be able to handle them with pretty ease since you have items from Pirate Island. I recommend having the Nightmare spell before doing these, so you can deal with them with well. The speed boss is not that difficult. Basically, what I recommend you is slowly walk forward, and he's going to do first a side attack like that, and make sure to stay in a safe square. Then go to the left, and then go to another safe square. Then he's going to do a freebie attack, just spin around, and basically you can start attacking from here, and you should be fine to go. Now he'll keep doing these attacks, and as long as you do the rhythm pretty safely, you should be fine. If he hits you, he'll do approximately 8,000 damage. You need to be careful. Now these archmages might hit you on your way in, so you need to be careful. Be prepared for multiple shots and to get out of the way of them. I didn't do that well there, but some practice makes perfect. Now we've made it to the boss many people can find difficult. Basically, how you can dodge these is you just need to be careful, and there'll be a constant beam he'll shoot at you that will last 1 second before it explodes, and book cells last 1.5 seconds. It'll also spawn a ton of lines that you can just handle yourself between, and as long as you handle itself well, you should be able to handle it easily, and then you can constantly shoot at the enemy until you defeat it. It may take a bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, will be extremely useful and extremely well. This is why I told you guys from the very first video to learn of Shift Lock. It will come in extremely useful. If he hits you, he can do up to 7,000 damage, but be careful of the damage stacking on you. Now, reminder of non-hardcore, you have an infinite amount of lives, but every time you die, you will lose 10 seconds. For example, here, it shows 8 minutes, and now it's 750. Now, we'll go ahead and eliminate the next mobs around here, and we're nearing the final boss. Egg in this dungeon is in the final boss, but I do not recommend you get it in the level 70s. Probably go once you're like over leveled, like at least level 100. You should be able to take a lot of hits from the king, and you should be fine to get the egg. Now, once we reach these parts, just make sure to move out of the way for the mages. Just walk in front of them, and once they shoot the beam all at you, move to the side, and boom, you're fine. There, I got hit once. I could have timed it a bit earlier. Besides that, it's totally fine. If we reach the king, now the king will be doing a series of 2 attacks, and a variation of the second attack. Basically, I recommend you moving sideways constantly, because he'll be throwing slashes, and they have an extremely long range. Now, the king will be jumping on you, or jumping on a player, and then he'll start doing slashes again. He'll do 3 slashes before each jump, and after every other jump, he'll turn off the lights to make you not see, but as long as you're moving, you should be fine. Like right here, he didn't hit me. Now the egg would be supposedly right here, which I recommend you get. But probably don't do it when you're level 60s because right here, because you're lack of HP and you'll probably find a way there. So right here, you can just constantly move. If you constantly move like the pirate's final boss, you should be able to deal with it with major ease. It's just a little more complicated and you need to move in certain areas instead of anywhere. But once you deal with it, you should be pretty good. But if you get hit by it, it can do up to 10,000 damage per hit. Now let's go ahead and go back to the lobby. And while we go back to the lobby, we can take a look at Guardian's Blessing. This is a spell that basically gives you a shield, as some people say Guardian spells aren't good, which is true. Guardian's Blessing might be something that you won't need at all, which basically gives you a 20% shield on your maximum health. Let's say if you have 1,000,000 health, it will be 200,000 health for 3 seconds. So that's literally nothing. It's just not worth it, and I honestly don't recommend it. It's not worth the waste of a valuable spell area since you can only use 2. Now, I hope you guys, if you ever need practice, you can always go to the Archmage and deal with it and practice with it with perfect, even in higher dungeons, because this is a great way to practice them. And even for the higher level players, do not do this with speed spells because the boss was made to do without speed spells. So you guys should maybe learn a lot about it. Now let's go ahead and here to the upgrade section. Once you finish the items, you can go ahead and grab, let the items load up for me. Let's grab this eagle staff. And where are you supposed to upgrade your staff? On the spell section. Now what happens if you upgrade it on the physical section? It becomes a cursed weapon, it's just not worth the use. Upgrading on the spell section would make it a lot better. So yeah, that's an idea for the future. Now if you need to test your damage, you can go ahead and do it in the shop guy, or you can do it in the novice bags. You should start finishing off the novice bags with major ease, and then maybe you could start moving to the advanced bags, and you're going on your way slowly to level 100 for that second sweet lobby. Alright, that's it for King's Castle. I hope this helps you guys complete the dungeon with ease and not struggle at it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Lucky Ducky, and you are watching the Lucky Ducky channel. Waddle out, my friends. Peace out.